Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. As today we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. The news in the news that our Adjourns Senate is in the news about how it looks like there might be a number of states. When I mean a number, a very sizable number of new states in Nigeria. We're talking about that. Mr. Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, has done another press parley and has a few things again to say about the PDP. Nnamdi Kanu's case is stalling again and has moved on to Monday again as the defendant stroke attorney, or would I say defender, has decided to do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it, and he has new excuses, so everybody would have to deal with it at this point. And that and a whole bunch of other things we're going to be talking about today at the bar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show today. But I'm not alone on the show. I'm here with Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank God it's Friday, New Music Friday. Welcome to the Federal Republic of multiple states.
At this point,
if they have their wish.
If they have their wish. But that at this point, you know that it's you can't even blame like the leadership of the National Assembly at this point. Is everybody they're bringing their own proposals and all that. However, we just want to give you gist that at the moment the National Assembly, which means the Senate and the House of Representatives, they're looking at about 55 new proposals for states in the country. And it's funny, we know we have 50 that's I want to scatter my what's it called. We have 36 states at the moment, but there is an ongoing joint retreat for the Senate and the House of Representatives to review the 1999 Constitution, and they're looking at one of the major things they're looking at is the creation of 55 new states and 278 additional local government areas around the state. And I know that one of the major things that I would say that is really that normally I won't call it an excuse. I'll say that one of the conversations that brings this thing every time is always the reasons is better representation. There are some places that are really too big, and with more states, it means that there's a new governor, there are more governors, there are more House of Rep members, there are more senators, there are more local governments. You know, all those breakdowns, which make sense on one side, but that also means that there are more senators, meaning that the wage bill of these senators and House of Rep members go up. There are more House of Assembly members, because it means that in new states means there's another fresh state House of Assembly as well. There are other local governments and all that. Are we really going to say that if we look at it in merit? Because now the issue with these things is also the angle of, if you allow some states, why would you not allow some states? For example, I'm going to use this as an example. Kano, for example, or would I say Oyo State? The land mass in itself alone, we can categorically say it's probably depriving some people of really a lot of representation. There's some people that you can argue that maybe some places, Ibadan in itself is large, is larger than a lot of states. And now Ibadan is just one town out of a number of towns or cities in Oyo State. Yeah, same for Kano. Kano has as much as 44 local governments in one state. If that is divided, we're going to say that they might get better representation. They'll have more senators. They'll have more House of Rep members. So we can have that. But are we at a point where we're mature enough to look that this state needs division? This state does not need division. Because if we now go by, let's say, landmass, for example, then we will not be having that conversation with states in the southeast. But we already know that the states in the southeast are already small. They're less than any other region in the country. So are you now saying that because some people do have large, which makes sense, or would I say population? If we look at it from population as well, the Southeast does not even have the kind of population that other, not that they're not that much, but the residents in itself, are they, do you understand? Are we now going to say, are we mature enough to say, oh, for these reasons, the Southeast does not need this? Or are we going to say for that reason, the North Central does not need it, but the Southwest does? Or, oh, the North Central does not need it, but the Northwest does?
You know, I've listened clearly to you, and we can't do this without looking at the history of state creation in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, you need to understand some of the indices, like, or the prerequisites and things that make them do the things that they do. You get. So, if you take a look at Nigeria, when Nigeria got independence, there were 3 regions, just 3 regions. And then, not long after that, a 4th region was created when the Midwest was carved out of the West. You know, the Midwest later became Bendel State, and now later became Edo and Delta State. And that was carved out of the Southwest.
Okay.
Same goes for the other states that were eventually created. And, you know, I know some of those decisions were taken during a war. You know, just like Nigeria's decision to change its currency to the naira from the pounds, and the creation of states. You get, we went to 12, then we went to 19, then now we're at 36. Right?
Go ahead.
So, how did we arrive at 36? Now, that has brought a lot of agitations. In the area of land mass, people will tell you, for instance, that a Bayelsa state is small. Mm-hmm. But should there be a Bayelsa state? I totally think so. Do you understand? And there are agitations for Ijebu state.
Yeah.
And the Ijebu agitation is hinged on the fact that they feel that they deserve to have their own state away from the Egbas, the Egbados, and you know,
and they all take out of
and definitely
Lagos State that is not even big enough
out of it. Mm-hmm. I'm talking landmass. Lagos.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Small. That Lagos is already small, and you still want to cover out
and
some
it's
out of
arguably it. The most populous state in Nigeria. It has the most population.
Yeah.
So, if state creation is based on most of the agitations, we would have about 500 states in Nigeria. Because some people will be like, you know what? We want an Isheri state. We want Ikwere state. You know, the Ikweres are also very, very vocal, and they are an entire nation on their own too. And the Ijos are spread across many states anyway. Yeah. You know. We could even hear people want an Ishekiri state or an Urobo state. Yep. So we cannot create states based on all these agitations. It should be solely based on governance, to enhance governance.
Okay.
But there will be 1 or 2 political solutions. For instance, I also advocate, forget that by landmass, the Southeast is barely bigger than Oyo State. Mm-hmm. But I advocate for an additional state so that we have a minimum of 6 states in every geopolitical zone that we have. That's what I advocate for. Mm-hmm. But I would rather we empower the restructuring of Nigeria along the regional lines or the geopolitical lines. You get? I think what we need is a way to bring governance closer to the people without necessarily creating too many states.
Exactly. That's my own. Like, are we going to say that we will still not have some of these issues if, even if more states are created? So that's my own. Like, creating more states for some people might make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But now the question is that. Now, there is something that I wanted to pop up.
It happens.
So there's
it becomes
actually
back
a
to
new.
you.
Yeah, it will. No, not that I forgot, but there's a breaking news that I wanted to say. Now the president has changed most of the service chiefs. Just right now, there's an announcement that the president is apparently is only the chief of defense intelligence that had not retained his position. The president has replaced General Christopher Musa, with General Olufemi Oluyede. The new chief of army staff is Major General W. Shuaib. The Air Vice Marshal is now Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke is now the chief of air staff, and Rear Admiral I. Abbas is the new chief of naval staff.
Interesting. It's obvious that Bola Tinubu is not going to be a president that allows situations to run. Is always going to keep people on their toes. The same way there was a mini cabinet reshuffle a couple of months ago. We're expecting another one anyway. And how he was able to move people around and remove some completely and bring in some new ones. So I didn't see that coming.
No,
I didn't see it coming.
Nobody saw that coming.
I wouldn't even say it's based on the fact that those guys were not performing. So again, this will set the rumor mills agog. One of the things that are going to start here now is, you see, we told you that there was a coup attempt, and that's why they're changing.
Why they're changing. Yes.
On the other hand, if you follow a lot of security talk, and you do a lot of research and everything, there's this increasing campaign by people from outside Nigeria to create an impression that yes, we have security challenges in Nigeria. I'm not going to lie about that. It's out there. But to create an impression that there is a religious war going on in Nigeria, you get.
I agree.
And again, this might be one of the reasons why the government is restructuring and maybe just keeping the military on their toes and bringing in new, people to take charge of certain, aspects of Nigeria's security. You get. So I didn't see it coming, but I'm not surprised that it has happened.
I think looking at like you said, looking at President Tinubu's antecedents, it really is not it. I think it's kind of like almost a sharp contrast to what we saw with President Muhammadu Buhari. There is a lot of reshuffling that goes on. There's in different aspects of governance, and there's one thing that you cannot take away, and looks like it happens a lot. We didn't see a lot of even the cabinet reshuffling amongst the governors, but looks like this reshuffling in different places seems to find a way to trickle down to the governors as well.
Yeah, they have all already cut that bug and everything. Two things I want to say about this reshuffling. For a few years now, we're used to news being leaked. I'm sure that if it was a few years ago, you would have heard some kind of rumor they're about to do a cabinet reshuffle and everything. That has not happened. That has not happened. Again, we need to now check which course these men belong to, because
everybody's going home.
Usually
everybody's going
when
home.
A certain
except
they're on the same level.
Yeah.
Because if it brings people from a lower course who are now going to be heading the different aspects of the military in Nigeria,
everybody go home.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, that's what it means. Everybody gets to retire.
So, and that's going to affect a whole lot of people and all of that. Again, people will also not be happy regardless of whatever he tries to do with this, because there can only be 4 major service chiefs. Apart from the chief of defense, there's
intelligence. I think there are 5 of them.
Chief of defense staff.
Yeah, the chief of army staff.
Intelligence is not usually referred to as a service chief. Maybe they've started doing that.
Think they have.
There's 4 that I know. There's the chief of defense staff, who is in charge of the army, the navy, and the air force, and each of them now have their own service chief.
Yeah.
You get, and if you look at before this program started, at least before the announcement came out, I think the army chief was from Anambra also.
Yeah. So
You know?
the last one, Christopher Musa. I'm not sure where he's from.
No, the Navy. I think it's the Navy chief that was from Anambra or Air Force. One of them is from the East. Although even the people in the East say,
Oh yeah,
it's
the
not
man that
Igbo,
from
is this?
Ebonyi. Yes, I remember.
Is it Ebonyi?
Yeah, I know it was from Ebonyi State that got a lot of rancor.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember he's from Ebonyi. Actually.
Okay, so that has happened again. That people will be like, okay, they had someone from Kaduna or they had someone from, the Southwest and blah blah blah. So there's a lot of politics in all of these things. I hope it's more of a security, driven project than more politics. You get, but it's interesting how this has actually happened, and we'll continue to just monitor and continue to pray that Nigeria gets it right eventually.
Yep. At the end of the day, so basically just wanted to put that out there. Might not maybe see it on a lot of news stations at the moment, but anyway, so let's go back to the conversation that we're having before. And like I said, now the truth is, with the indices that you had put out and the things that we've seen over time, do some places need more states? Maybe. Like you said, from different angles of governance, it could be, maybe too much people. If we're going to look at it as at population, maybe remove land mass. Maybe Lagos should even be divided. Do you understand? Like, okay, maybe there are too many people in the state, different things, yeah. But now my issue will be that if some states are granted and some states are not, will that not also cause another rancor?
Yeah, it will, but that doesn't mean that you can. There's no way you're going to please everybody in the first place. If you notice, at some point in time, for instance, some of the, like Ekiti State, Ekiti was carved out of Ondo State.
Yeah.
When Ekiti was created, you get, one or two other states were created the same day, and it was not necessarily across then we were not even using geopolitical zones, but now looking at it, it was just like, they were going to, I think it was Akwa Ibom.
Oh yeah,
Ekiti,
and then they removed states from different states, and now they don't even fall in the same geopolitical zone anymore.
Do you get?
Yeah, I get your point.
And you find Ekiti in Kwara.
Yes. Yeah, a part of Ekiti was carved, and now they don't even belong in the same geopolitical zone.
And talking about Kwara, Kogi was carved out of Kwara.
Kwara, yeah.
And if you go and look at Kogi is big. So you can imagine how big Kwara was before. And so we're going to continue to have these issues. It's not a solution to all our problems, but it's like a palliative to certain agitations. But if we had a regional system, there will be no agitations. It's just going to be that, yes, this is the southwest region, this is the southeast region.
The issue of regions, looking at it, and I think that one of the major issues with regions is the middle belt, what is now basically called the North Central now. There are conversations that there are states that should be in the southwest.
Okay, so
I also believe that, I think that maybe some parts of Kogi State and probably the whole of Kwara State should be in the southwest. Also, I feel that most of the other states in the North Central, like Niger State, like Benue, like Plateau State, I don't think that they should be called North.
So
there's a
problem. There's a problem with what you're saying.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm calling it a problem is that North is just an English word. South is just an English word.
It's just the location, yeah?
Yeah, it's just, hey, this is the north of Nigeria, this is the south. But it has, and you are looking at it from the Nigerian angle where it has a different connotation.
Oh, yeah, I get your point, but
I don't have a problem with saying that Kwara is in the north, because geographically, it might be
in the northern part of Nigeria, yeah.
Same thing with Benue, Plateau, Niger. Do you get?
Yeah.
It's when you go further that you now start talking tribe, you start talking tongue, you start talking culture. Then you now say, oh, this culture is similar to the people in the northwest. So I think these people should be cut. No. But based on the geographical spread and location, it is what it is. You understand?
I get your point.
So every time people say it, I let them talk, and I say, that it's just geography that we're talking about. But if we're talking about tribe and everything, so that's why I said regions work. And the reason why I said that is that if it's along the line of 6 geopolitical zones, you split it, across like that, 6. What it means is that every part of that region will be represented. You get equally. Okay. If we're going to have, for instance, 100 senators, it will be shared by 6. Do you get?
I get your point, yeah.
If we're going to have 200 House of Rep members at the national seat, it will be shared by that. Then again, it's within the region that they're now able to create their own structure or their governance structure in a way that everything just trickles down. But there will be national things that you do together, like sports and security and this and that, while every region also caters to its own security. I know we're past that now, but it's something that I wish we had, so that look at what's happening in the north now. About 3 states have gone into a power generating and distribution venture. They started that talk last week, right? That's the kind of thing that I expect. That if each region comes together and says, what, there are 5 states in the southeast. Let us all come together to build, 5 different specialist hospitals.
Yeah.
And we'll fund it together. Instead of pushing the burden on one state, let's do it together. Same structure, same system, same management. You understand? And you do that for education, you do it for security, you do it for health, you do it for sports. Before you know it, man, everywhere don't fool.
Okay, now let's move on quickly from that. And, we'll definitely would follow this matter. We'll see. Personally, before you go find it, do you actually think that with the way Nigeria is now, I know that there are these proposals. Do you think any states with this constitutional amendment, do you think any new states could actually pass the scale and it could work?
I think if I had to say it, yeah, I would say yes, and I would say maybe about 3 or 4 more. As much as I want the Southeast to get at least 1 state, so that they can have a minimum of 6 like everybody, the Southwest deserves to have at least 1 more, largely due to the size of Oyo. You understand? And the fact that if you break Oyo into 2, you'll be able to reach more people and all of that. Then, Kogi shares a border with 10 states. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
And there are people there who would love to have their own state. Yeah. You get? So those 3, and I think there's somewhere in the north too, So I'm thinking 3 or 4. With the 36 that we have, we have a round figure
maybe
of 40.
3 or 4, not 55.
Not 55 new states.
Because
if it's 55 new states, that means you can be governor of somewhere. I can be governor of somewhere. Everybody can be governor. You get a governor. You get a governor. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets a state now.
Anyway, let's move on from that quickly. And I just want to put this out there. President Tinubu is celebrating Chief Kessington Adebutu at 90. For people that might not know that name, I'm sure they would have known Babaja, but it's probably one, if not like the pioneer in is a pioneer
not pioneer, but is one of the biggest
betting.
Yeah.
That when you hear about betting Nigeria, basically Babaja was the first time I ever heard anything about
that
betting.
Type of betting though. But
yeah,
there's something about Babajabu that stands out for me, and is philanthropy. I think it's Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I don't know if he still does it. People walk up to his office in Surulere at the barracks bus stop there. He's smack dab on the main road. People walk up there for financial assistance. They don't need to know him. They don't need to know anybody around him. And he does it. He's been doing it for years. I don't know if it's still, because Baba is 90 now. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure he even goes to that office anymore. You get, but it was one of the things that stick out. And the fact that recently, apart from the other places, he built another medical facility inside Lagos University Teaching Hospital, which was launched a few days ago
by the
governor of Lagos and everything. And these are the kind of things that he has done, even in Ogun State.
I think that talking about that, there are quite a number of things that is happening in Lagos State University at this point. I think that there's also the opening of
Lagos State University or Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
No, as in the whole concept of Lagos State University in itself. I know that
that's LUT.
Lagos State University.
LASU.
Yes, LASU.
Yeah, but this one was LUT.
Okay, it was LUT. Sorry, I thought it was LASU. I was mixing it up. I want to talk about I was referring to the library, which is apparently is now the biggest library in West Africa.
Oh, the one in LASU, Ojo campus.
Yeah,
yes.
Fantastic. I think it's a lot of fantastic work that.
When I saw them put out this information, the first 3 comments I saw were the structure looks old, the design is this and that.
Oh my God!
Like Nigerians, I must talk.
You must say something. Must say something. You cannot see something good and just commend it and move on. Anyway, moving on from that, quickly, just wanted to put this out there. The Civil Defense Correctional Fire and Immigration Service Board has now approved a wide range of disciplinary measures against 31 officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service for different reasons.
Yeah, 31. They talked about the high number of people that were dismissed already, and the ones that are going to be disciplined and everything. It was a good and bad situation for me. Yeah. Good in the sense that, at least now people know that there are repercussions for their actions. Bad in the sense that why do we have so many bad uniformed people, It's so sad. But it's also good that they've gotten to a point where we now get to hear about these things, and there's also action being, meted out to people who have been empowered to carry out functions for us, and they end up, using it wrongly.
And still talking about security agencies. So now this particular story, in fact, there are 2 separate stories where the Interpol seemed to have arrested quite a number of people in Nigeria. Yep. Some were arrested for Ponzi schemes for as high as about $562 million. And some other people were arrested, about 11 people, other people were arrested for terrorist actions in Nigeria as well.
And they're all foreigners, every single one of them. I'd seen a story where some South Koreans were arrested for crimes that they were committing. I think maybe in Cambodia or one of these countries. I don't want to mix it up too much. And I'm like, the way that South Koreans are unraveling for me, it's strange.
I think I remember that story.
I did, because a couple of them were arrested this year in Nigeria and deported, and it's now becoming like a trend. On the regular, you're getting to see
a lot of Asians. There's a lot of story with a lot of Asians. I remember watching a video where there was an arrest that came. I think they were the Philippines or something. Yeah. Sadly, they were even scamming people and saying that they were in Abuja, Nigeria. Yeah. And you wonder, like, what are you people doing? Yeah,
so Nigeria is getting a lot of bad rep from these ones. So big shout out to the guys at Interpol for coming through. But the scariest one, the scary one, is the foreigners that were arrested for terrorism. You get, it's very good news, but again, you start to think a lot of things.
But now,
would that be all?
Doesn't that also now look into which now could you blame something like the the immigration? I know that Ministry of Interior were talking about how people, the kind of foreigners that come into Nigeria. Now it's time to actually really be watchful of what's the kind of people that you actually accept in the country.
Can we be very honest with ourselves?
Yeah, please go ahead.
We have very porous borders. Yeah. So regardless of the people you stop at the airports or the seaports or land ports, you actually still have porous borders. So I get the screening and all of that, but you know what it means to have porous borders? It means that people can gain access in and out of your country.
I even feel that some of these people actually get into Nigeria legally, and then there's a lot of, because I remember the Ministry of Interior
arguing with that.
Was talking about a lot of people that their visas have expired and they're just.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just shining light on a bigger problem.
On another issue. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. But there's something I actually wanted to talk about. Talking about money. There's a story that broke yesterday. I don't even know how I forgot to put it on this one, but it's very laughable to me. So this is the matter of the P&ID. Apparently, a lot of people are not talking about it.
No, because it's good news. Why would they talk about it?
So we know this matter of P&ID that has been going on for a while, and I think it was the government of late President Muhammadu Buhari, and how the president said, "I'm not paying this money," and then they went to court, and they actually got judgment of about 43 million pounds that they were supposed to get. Nigeria was supposed to get back. Apparently, but these people have not been in court in the UK, saying that, coming up with all sorts of things. Excuses. It was first that, they're not paying that money, then the court compelled them to pay the money. Now, the last case that was in court that has now gone to the Supreme Court is the matter of the fact that they said that they wanted to pay this money in naira and not in pound sterling. Now, their argument was that the Nigerian government changed naira to pounds, changed about 25 billion naira to pounds to pay them the money when they got paid. And so, if they pay them in pound sterling now, the money is about 95 billion naira according to the new rates. So they would rather pay them 25 billion naira than about 43 million pounds. And the court says, nope. Number one, it's not your business how the country got the money to pounds. You were paid in pounds as at when you got paid that money. You are going to return the money in the currency that you were paid in. And the case is now in the has been passed in the Supreme Court. So I think that case is done.
I don't even know if it's about paying them or. I know the case. I'm saying I'm not even sure it's about if Nigeria paid them any money. It's more about Nigeria's expenses, and it was in pounds, not in naira. You get? Because I know for a fact that I know a lot of people might not like President Buhari, but he nipped this in the bud. He said, we're not paying this money. It's not happening. And they fought it to a standstill. Tinubu picked it up from there and his people, and they've done this. Now they've gone this far. Mm-hmm. Some people would have just made money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you have time, just Google Nigeria P&ID. Just Google it, and you'll be shocked at how nothing really happened, and people were going to get money for it.
Oh yeah, the claim. I think the claim was that Nigeria breached a contract.
It was planned.
And they
were
going to pay.
Wasn't it obvious that
apparently, if you really look through it, is something that goes on a lot. This particular one just apparently got to a point where we had a president then that said, you know what, this thing is not making sense.
I'm not paying.
Unfortunately for them, there was a vice president then that was a professor of law that now saw like, no, this thing is not adding up. And when I was reading that story yesterday,
they have Fashola too, who was
when I was reading and rewriting that story yesterday, it was really laughable to me that now you want to pay me back in naira. What's your business with my naira? Even the court had said, that if you really look at it, you're talking about, the money is now 95 billion naira. But things are not as cheap as they were before anymore. It's the depreciation of the naira, so it's still the same value. It's not your business.
It's a big deal for Nigeria.
However, the
even if it's just for optics alone.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So please, I just wanted to talk about it because it was really just laughable. It's really laughable that.
Just picture pumping that 95 billion into NEL fund.
Yeah. Or our primary healthcare centers.
Something like that.
Do you understand? It's really it's a really beautiful thing. Anyway, just wanted to put this out there. The DSS and Naseni are set to a beginning local production of high-tech security equipment. So what they're looking at is that they're trying to reduce the amount of security equipment that Nigeria will be importing. And basically that's the whole point of Naseni in the first place.
It's a beautiful thing if you look at it from the Nigerian perspective, and Nigeria's concept of Nigeria first, which means that the government will prioritize locally made items and goods. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're not going to buy foreign, but they'll rather patronize the Nigerian homegrown, technology. And now this is not them even setting up.
That's the whole point of the agency.
It's bad news for the security apparatus that
Why?
some business that they had expected from Nigeria will not go their way. Some countries, they use these things as leverage from time to time also. So Nigeria should expect some kind of backlash here and there. I'm just saying. But it's just a beautiful thing that we're able to, keep... there's a company, is it Daikon or so, that Nigeria's military establishment owns a company that is already manufacturing, military equipment and all of that. And Naseni in itself has proven that they have the capacity to do so much more.
Yeah.
I looked at the unmanned vehicles that they had, the ones we call drones and everything. I look at the robots that Nigeria has, the prototypes, and I'm like, wow, this is really...
That's it. I'm
good.
like, that's it for like, let's have an agency that is actually doing what it was really meant for.
Yeah, and that's what Naseni is doing. Naseni is already, created Nigeria's own car batteries.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about, they've already created a prototype mobile phone,
Those
cars.
a whole lot. Those are things that we really should be looking into. Anyway, yesterday the president has sworn in the new INEC chairman. Was really nice. The man now went to, and it's interesting that he's coming in when the Anambra elections is just around the corner. Even the president told him that the Anambra elections will be a litmus test for him. The man definitely has to hit the ground running already. As of today, INEC's team has already arrived. There's a mock accreditation that is happening. Elections is next month, so he definitely has to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
At that point, you want to say something?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right, now let's move on from that and let's move on to the courts, as the drama from the courts is not stopping anytime soon. First things first, we know that yesterday Nnamdi Kanu had said that he had sacked his lawyers and he was defending himself, and the court was...
The lawyers are saying that they pulled out. Either way,
he's defending himself at this point. And now Nnamdi Kanu was in court yesterday, and then he said that he needed time and the case was adjourned to today. Today again, the case has also been stalled again, saying that there is a claim there's an inability to access his case file, so he has not been able to do that, and now the case has now been adjourned till Monday again.
The thing about defending yourself in court and not being a lawyer is that it is allowed by law.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a caveat. You will get no special treatment. He is going to be treated as a lawyer.
Yep.
So there's a limit to all of these shenanigans.
Oh, so you think it's shenanigans, actually?
I think it is. I think it's been that for years.
So I agree with the fact that I think it's a lot of shenanigans, yeah? But I'm looking at it from his own angle, and I'm like, do you really want to continue to be, because even this adjournment here and there, if you were like what I pointed out yesterday, if anybody that saw him yesterday saw that video, does not look like someone that was ill. You spent weeks on end wasting time on to checking, if you are not well, you are well. If you really want to state your case, it looks like from his own camp there's a lot of stalling happening.
That's why I said shenanigans. From the time that it was brought back to Nigeria, to the time that he made the first appearance in court, to the time that, even down to what he wears to court now every day. There was a day a judge was like, he does that, you shouldn't wear this.
Why can't you continue? Yeah.
And after that pronouncement by the judge, he kept on wearing the same thing. Shenanigans. At some point, it was talking about not wanting a particular judge.
Yeah.
That took months.
Yes.
Also, shenanigans. I don't want this
that
judge.
He
I don't
doesn't
want
justice. Or
isn't it glaring? Just take a look at it.
Well, doesn't it mean that he will continue to be in detention? Make it make sense.
But for so long has it not happened? And it's happened to the point where people are raising their voices and saying things like, it's been held for too long without that it's been denied justice. I see people say that thing boldly.
But
that is being, but if
man
you look
is
at
delaying his own case.
He's the one that's delaying the case.
Yeah. It's interesting though. The man has said that he has a lot of witnesses We saw his witness list. He says he has witnesses that are coming from Ethiopia, some from Kenya, some of the things that he said today. But talking about his witnesses, one of the witnesses or one of the people that are on his witness list is the FCT minister, who had a media party today, and he was asked if he would ever be there, and he's like, oh yeah, that if he's, as we know that he's a lawyer himself, if he's subpoenaed, and that the man made if he's subpoenaed, and if there is provision for how he's going to get there, why not if not?
You know, again, I'm waiting for the drama to unfold.
Yeah.
Because usually when you are defending yourself or someone is defending you, when you are the defendant, you would have to bring people who would help your case. And he's bringing a lot of people that they are not friends and they're not going to speak for him.
And maybe he wants to put them on a very tight corner.
That's and that's the drama that I'm referring to.
Yeah, but before we even get to that drama, let's even go back to the witness list. And I know that except you are friends with people who would willingly, there are a lot of his witness list. I think there's a witness list that has those the governors and the former aides, Nigerian aides, appointees, and Attorney General and all those people. Let's look at it from the angle of the two governors that are on his witness list. All those people, I would not particularly say they're his friends. So they will probably, like Minister Wike had said today, that he has to be subpoenaed, meaning that he's not going to go there willingly. For you to subpoena someone, you literally have to basically sue the person that the person has to come to court. If you can do that with everybody else, how do you want to get that to do that with governors of a state that cannot be sued?
Yeah, but you can serve them. You can serve them.
You serve the government or the governor?
You can serve the governor. I believe you should be able to serve the governor because you're not suing the governor. You're not saying, you did this crime and that's why I'm suing you. You are saying, I'm inviting you, under the laws of Nigeria, to appear as a witness. So I think it would get through to them somehow and they would come through. I'm just wondering the angle that he wants to take it from.
All these people. So we'll follow this matter. It seems that it's going to be a very interesting one at this point. Now, moving on from that, but still talking about the courts. So yesterday, we know that at Nnamdi Kanu's case yesterday, Sowore was arrested. And the police had talked about why he was arrested, and there's a lot of back and forth. One of his lawyers that's basically saying that the police is lying, that they did not go to some certain places, and all back and forth and all that. Yeah. However, they were all granted bail today. I think about 13 of them, Sowore, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, and about 11 others were granted bail today. Nnamdi Kanu's brother, Sowore himself, and about 11 other people were granted bail today. However, as it was done, Sowore was picked up again on another fresh charge. Now, when it comes to this particular individual, is it not looking like for the optics of a leave him alone, or is the part of you're not going to get away with anything?
Regardless, it depends on how the government wants to play it, because Sowore is also playing a game. Everybody is playing games. Nnamdi Kanu is playing games. Tinubu everybody is playing games. That's the truth. On Sowore's part, he has chosen to be an hybrid of sorts. A journalist / activist / politician / So the Sowore, the activist, is usually the one that comes out before Sowore, the politician, comes out. You get? So so why would a politician be an activist, and why would an activist be a politician? Yeah. It's obvious that I feel is using all of this to better his stock. There are allegations of him being sponsored and all of that. I don't know about that. Could be true, could be lies, but it's obvious that it cherishes the limelight. It likes being, in the news. It likes being at the forefront. I remember when it was NSAS and Sowore had tried to join NSAS. They heckled him out of the place.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh, yeah.
There. And every time he had tried to do revolution now, he didn't get any traction until last year.
Yeah.
You get until last year when things were biting hard. And for the first time, the people in the north just decided to come out.
And we saw how that
and he just moved in like it was his thing and all of that. But it's all good in the hood. At the end of the day, everybody know what they do.
Exactly. Anyway, Minister Wike, we're back to Minister Wike, where Minister Wike has now come out to tell you people that the governors are trying to sideline him. The many PDP governors are trying to sideline him. And if they are not careful, PDP will fall apart if they sideline him.
If and fall apart, PDP, those three in the same sentence, it does. I cannot relate. The thing about it is, this morning I was out walking. I was actually thinking about, Wike PDP scenario and everything. And this has played out now. How many governors are left in the PDP in the first place as of today?
No, I think they still have about 8 or that's more than any other.
I think they have about 7 or
that's
so.
More than any other party.
As of today.
Yeah.
Now, when they had more, they had problems. The party was losing senators, House of Rep members, governors, House of Assembly members, and all whatnot. And really and truly, they seem not to understand Nyesom Wike. I remember when they had a meeting, I think it was last year, and they didn't invite him to that meeting. I'm going by his status in the party. They should have. And he went there. Of course, they were all shocked to see him. So I wonder why they're still doing this, because they need to understand the game is the game. And Wike will not leave PDP. When they say that a weapon is fashioned against look.
So if we really look at it now, according to as of last count, there are about 8 people at Adamawa State, Plateau State. There's Plateau State, the Bauchi. There's Taraba State. There's Zamfara. There's Oyo. There's Rivers, and there's Osun. There, out of this list, there's been rumors, which, if we really follow rumors that have been happening for months, the ones that have left, we heard those rumors. So looks like those rumors too will end up becoming true, because there are rumors of the Adamawa State, of Taraba State, at least 2 of these other people, even Rivers State at this point, do you understand, of moving to the APC. So what's really left? But if we really look at it, if Wike really thinks, they're trying to sideline him, PDP, what's he still doing there? He's not behaving like an Agbaya. Let's be honest at this point. So you're obviously not working for the PDP. So Kuku leave them alone now.
Is it working against them?
Are we serious right now?
Can you say that?
I don't know. I don't want the PDP, but it's
exactly.
It's one thing to be appointed by the government of the day. I get it. It's not the first time that's happening.
Bola Ige.
That's why I said
it's
not the first time. It's not the first time
it's happening. Minister of Power.
But
we
had no doubt at that point that Bola Ige was still in the PD, was still in the APC. AD. Was still in the AD then. Nyesom Wike has come out categorically. I think a few days ago he still said the same thing again, that anybody that is only going to support anybody that is in support of President Tinubu's second term agenda. Now, we know for a fact President Tinubu.
Please speak for yourself.
No, wait.
Don't say we.
Wait. Well, let me. You don't even know what
I don't even know. I'm just saying. Say.
No.
If I'm going to agree, I will agree.
Let me finish what I will say. The whole of Nigeria knows that President Tinubu is not just a founding member of the APC. He was basically everything about the APC until he became president. And we know he's not going anywhere. So, if you are saying categorically that anybody that is not going to work for the APC in 2027, you're not, what are you now doing in the PDP?
So, what you're basically saying now is that they should just shut it down.
Shut what down?
The PDP.
I'm not saying they should shut it down.
So
I'm saying
he's trying
that
to salvage
Wike
it. He has
should
told
leave
you.
the PDP.
No.
It's obvious you are not going to work for the PDP. But let's just leave it alone.
He has said it on more than one occasion that when the pretenders leave completely, that it will
He
be
will now
able
tell
to
President Tinubu that, oh, I'm not working for you again.
No. That's he knows it's not happening this election cycle that is coming.
Oh, okay. I
So
get
when
the
the
point. So
pretenders
there won't
leave-
be a presidential candidate from the PDP in 2027. Okay, so he's saying that in 2027 the PDP will work for the APC. So after in 2031 the APC will not be looking at them, Abi.
Within that time and now, a lot of things would have happened. You forget that the ADC and the Labours and the Co are all there. The Shores, all of them are still there. And they're all still going to come out to contest.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, Mr. Daddy, it is obvious that you are the weapon fashion against them at this point. When it's called something, you know how fish bone, if you swallow fish bone, that's the way Wike is now. Leave them alone at this point. I'm begging.
Maybe they should leave him alone. Maybe they should listen to what he's saying.
You're just being, I have no words.
I'm just being real.
No, you're not.
All right.
Anyway, let's move on and let's do a little. So before we go to sports, Mr. Aliko Dangote's net worth seems to have increased by another like about $10 billion again. You know.
You see, my good friend.
Oh, your
Aliko,
good friend.
My good friend Ali. I call him Ali. You know, when we hang out.
There's no Ali
when we hang
anywhere.
out in my dreams.
There's no Ali.
I call him Ali. You know,
your dreams, definitely.
You know,
your dreams.
If he offends me, I say Ko. You know, so at times you say Ali Ko. You know. If you look at it,
am I the only one that see this?
Now you sabi. So you see, my rich friends, they don't like me showing off too much.
All right.
So the thing about it is that a few months ago, when Nigeria, you know, took that drastic turn and stopped defending the naira and blah blah blah, everybody lost money, including Aliko Dangote.
Yep.
And you look at it now that even at the fact that the naira was devalued, because that's what eventually happened, and it's hovering around 1,500 naira to $1, the man has actually now made more money.
I think about 2 years ago, his net worth was around 10 billion ish. In 2 years, that those numbers seem to have tripled at this point.
When you're big,
Where
you're
are you
big,
going to
big.
build the refinery?
Who?
You know.
I'm thinking of where to put it, Nee. I'm thinking of where to put it. Yeah.
Anyway,
it has to be by the sea, though.
Anyway, Mr. Lionel
Maybe Delta State
has decided to sign a new contract with Inter Miami till I think 2028.
Yeah, a big shout out to him. It's actually keeps delivering regardless of his age.
Does that mean? I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. It means that number one, Lionel Messi is going to play World Cup.
Oh, he's actually playing the World Cup.
Number two, he's going to be actively playing football for the next 3 years.
Yeah, there's even rumors now that Neymar might be joining Inter Miami. It's a rumor, you know, so they're not resting on their oars. They're not going to be like, you know.
So it's going to be like in his 40s, yeah?
Yeah, Ronaldo is 40 and playing.
So it means that we're probably not seeing Ronaldo also retiring anytime soon.
No, that one says he'll keep playing until he doesn't feel like it anymore. Didn't you see he signed a new deal a few weeks ago? You didn't hear about it. Why? That story that we carried about him being the richest,
yeah.
That is because of this new deal that he signed.
These people are beasts at this point. Like, there's nothing, nobody does it past. You can't just get past these people anymore. Like, but yeah, I really still just happy that I'm in a generation where I saw Ronaldo and Messi play football. It's just fantastic at this point. Anyway, Rafa Benitez has been appointed as a Greek coach. The club Panathinaikos, God of mercy and compassion. Anyway, that has happened. Also, I wanted to talk about something that I spoke about earlier when we're off, and it's about Nottingham Forest. Please, I would like to know what happened in a few days where Nottingham Forest did not win any game under Ange Postecoglou, for about 8 games, and here we are. They get into Europa. Europa yesterday, and they beat a Porto that has not lost a game in fact, they've not drawn in 11 games, and they decide to beat Porto 2-0.
How many penalties did they play? How many penalties did they play?
It doesn't make any. Still doesn't.
I'm just asking.
Sense.
Were there any penalties?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I will check, but I don't think so.
All right. So, well, I got your angle to it, and it's not out of place. Dolupo is insinuating that the players sabotaged.
I think so.
Postecoglou.
I think so.
And
my own opinion.
It's very, very, very possible. The truth is, one of my friends put out something on social media, and I 110% agree. Nottingham had no business sacking Nuno.
I agree.
Man got you to Europe.
There were 2 penalties actually. Now I remember, but still.
All right, I was just trying to point something out, but it's fine. So Nuno's done that, and he gets kicked out, and you bring Postecoglou. And to be very honest, Ange is not a bad coach.
At least they won. What's he called? Won Europa. Yeah, he made Tottenham win Europa.
He's not a bad coach.
He's not a bad coach. So what happened?
If you look at when he was at Tottenham, it also took him time before he started getting results.
Yeah.
And later
they were not great at the Premier League.
Yeah, then people started saying, "Oh, this guy is not a bad coach," and blah blah blah. And so they made it to the finals of Europa, and in the final, anything can happen, and anything happened.
But then he got sacked, even with winning the.
Yeah, Tottenham. You get to final, you get sacked. You win. That's the Tottenham thing. Mourinho got them to the finals of a tournament, and he got sacked. So you should know that they are adverse to winning trophies. You should not have won a trophy for them.
Wow.
Yeah, but these are facts here. So the thing about it is that I really don't think the players sabotaged them. 39 days in charge. I think what happened is that the players were thrown into the deep end, certainly from Nuno to Postecoglou. Then when they now saw that it's a Sean Dyche moment, then they know it finally hit them like, this is the third coach this season, and we don't have a choice. Our careers are also at stake, and there's this ginger that comes with the arrival of a new coach.
But what happened with the Postecoglou? It didn't happen with Postecoglou.
It happens. It happens, and times it doesn't. Do you understand? There's no one size fits all situation to all of these issues.
Yeah.
But I think the players also really, really liked Sean from their first training session. A few stories that came out of the place, and that's what happening now. That's what's happening with Sean Dyche and Nottingham.
Okay, and finally, before we go, looks like the FBI on Thursday they actually did arrest a couple of people in the NBA talking about some betting scandal back and forth. Funny enough, when you hear about these betting scandals, you hear it more on football. I'm not sure I've ever really heard it with basketball, but in fact, an assistant coach, a former NBA player, another player, and a coach actually got arrested.
Yeah, some people are so wicked. They've gone to dig out an old video of the Miami Heat player where he was just playing like someone that had problems. And people like, oh, this video now makes sense. I'm just referring to a tweet. I'm not saying it was throwing a game. But again, the gambling goes beyond basketball. Also, they were involved in poker games and all sorts of, illegal betting activities and all of that. It's a dampener. The NBA just started 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of buzz. For instance, what's his name? Curry just dropped 42 points yesterday. But nobody's talking about any of those positive things.
It definitely now.
It's just all about, what went wrong with.
Bad news travels really fast. But anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again on Monday at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead.